Well, hello everybody, and welcome to today's webinar where you're going to learn how to grow your business with constant contact email marketing. My name is Pamela Starr, and I'm going to be taking you through this conversation today. Now, just a little bit of information about me. Some of you may have seen me do some of my Grow with Google presentations in the past, and I absolutely am a Grow with Google trainer. But what you may or may not know is before I started speaking for Google in 2017, I actually worked for Constant Contact. And I spent 7 years with that amazing company educating small business professionals just like you on how you can use email marketing to grow your business. And because it had been a while since I talked to anybody about Constant Contact, it seemed like a good time to go ahead and bring this topic to you. Today's presentation is actually hosted by a variety of nonprofit organizations that support small businesses just like you. So a big thanks to the Arkansas Better Business Bureau Foundation, to SCORE in Southeast Michigan, SCORE in Houston, SCORE in Palm Beach County, Florida, SCORE across the other side of the country in Las Vegas, in Northern Nevada, and also in Albuquerque. And also big thanks to SCORE in Denver for bringing today's presentation to you. I have worked with all of these organizations to bring a variety of training materials for folks like you. And so I'm super happy that they wanted to offer this training to help you grow your business. Biggest question I get whenever I talk to people about my role as a speaker and educator for small businesses is everybody always wants to know, how can I grow my business? And that's probably why you're listening here today. But after they ask me that question, then they get a little bit pickier about how they really want to grow their business. The things that come up are, what's the simplest way to grow my business? And then after that, kind of depending on how long I've been talking to that person, they will really come up with the real question, which is, what is the most affordable way to grow my business? Because as we all know, you can spend thousands or tens of thousands of dollars on advertising to grow your business, but chances are good that you don't have a budget like that. And so that's why we're going to be talking about email marketing today, because it is one of the simplest and most affordable ways to grow your business. Now, people also want to know what actually is going to work for them, and that's where email marketing comes into play as well. Now, just a couple of quick notes, and I will mention this a couple of times in today's live presentation. It is being recorded, and after the recording gets processed, I am going to host this on YouTube. Everybody who registered for today's presentation will get an email from me by the close of business tomorrow, and I will send that out in my Constant Contact account. And that email will have a link to the recording. So you don't need to worry about writing down everything I say, because you'll certainly have an opportunity to review the recording later on. A couple of things I do want you to keep in mind when it comes to getting business. Gaining a new customer can be 5 to 25 times more expensive than retaining an existing one. When I talk to businesses about how they can grow, everybody's always focused on, I need new customers, I need new customers, I need new customers. And yes, you do need a marketing strategy to acquire new customers, but you also need a marketing strategy in order to retain your existing customers, so that way you can get their repeat business and or their referrals. Now, I know some of you may have businesses that's kind of a one and done. Let's say you build you build outdoor swimming pools for your clients. Unless they move, they're probably not going to use your services more than once. But that's a perfect reason why you do want to keep in touch with those folks, so that way you can get their referrals. And email marketing is one of the simplest and most affordable ways to keep in touch with your past customers, so that way you do get their repeat and referral business. Let's talk about retention. If you can increase retention, meaning your existing customers stick with you, if you can increase that by only 5%, that can potentially increase your profits, which of course are dollars in your pocket, by anywhere between 25 and 95%. Now, obviously, that's a really big range, and it's going to be different for different types of business types. But even if you're on the low end, and if you can retain customers an additional 5%, imagine what your business would look like next year if your revenues were increased by 25%. For many businesses, to have a 25% boost in revenue, that would be fantastic. And the numbers can only go up from there. Now, let's talk a little bit about email. I know everyone's all in love with social media. I am as well. People love the idea of sending text marketing messages. You can actually send text marketing messages through Constant Contact. I'm not going to get into that in today's presentation because I really wanted to focus on email. But here's why. 91% of consumers check their email at least once a day. Now, when I do face-to-face presentations talking about email marketing, the question that I always ask people is, raise your hand if you've checked your email today. And obviously, everybody has. Then I say, raise your hand if you've checked your email since you walked into the building. Most people have. Then the final question I ask people is, raise your hand if you've checked your email since I started talking. Everybody kind of giggles and chuckles when I ask that question, and inevitably 10% of the people in the room, they are brave enough to raise their hand. And that's okay. I don't mind if they're checking their email when I'm speaking, because that just validates how important email is to all of your future customers. Now, the other thing that I hear quite a bit from people is, oh, email won't work for my customers because my customers are teenagers. They only do social media. Other people tell me that their customers are retirees. They don't check their email. Now I'm going to pause here for a second. I see what Jacob just asked a question. Is anyone experiencing difficulties? Jacob says, I'm showing full Wi-Fi signal. So it's not, Jacob's not sure if it's him or if it's something else. If you all can hear me and see me well, type that into the questions and let me know that. Jody says no issues on her way. If anybody else is having issues, let me know that, because that could potentially help me know if it's me or if it's a problem on Jacob's end. All right, Jacob, it looks like most people are saying I'm good, no issues here, can see and hear and all that good stuff. So Jacob, if you can hear me, you might want to log out and log back in. So I'm glad to know it's not me today, because there have been times where the technology has been on my side. All right, so getting back to the idea of, do your specific customers actually work on email? The answer is yes. Here's some really interesting statistics. An organization called Statistica did a survey in 2021. It was in November of 2021 to find out who actually is using email. And so according to Statistica, when they did this survey, approximately 95% of internet users between the ages of 25 and 45 in the United States, they absolutely use email. Going down to the teenagers, people aged 15 to 24, I guess 24 is not technically a teenager, but might have kind of a mental teenage mindset. More than 93% of people in that age bracket are on email. And then when it comes to their retirees, more than 85% of people ages 65 or older are on email as well. So your audience absolutely is using email, which means you can't use the excuse of they're only 15, they're 65 or 75, they're not on email, because folks, they absolutely are on email. So this is what we're going to talk about in today's webinar. I'm going to start off talking about how can you grow your email list, because that's a big question people ask me all the time. Next thing we're going to get into is how can you create emails that people actually open, and not only do you want them to open them, you want them to open them now, because you do want to be sure that you're capturing their attention. After that, we're going to talk about how you can create emails that help you sell. Now, folks, let's talk about the word sell. I know for many small businesses, the word sell sounds like one of those dreaded four-letter words that you don't ever want to say. People always think, I don't want to be salesy. I don't want people to think that I'm a salesperson. Folks, if you are in business, the goal of your business is to generate revenue for the business owner, which is you. You're going to generate revenue a whole lot better if you do keep in mind that you need to sell your products or services. Now, don't worry, I'm going to talk about ways that you can do that that don't come across as just over the top or make you feel kind of icky inside, because nobody likes to feel that way. The next thing that I'm going to do at the end of today's presentation is I'm going to talk about how you can share your emails that you create with your social media activities. Now, obviously, social media is not something that I'm saying you should ignore. Social media has a huge impact in growing your business. But I'm a realist, and I know that as a small business owner myself, it can be hard for me to find the time to manage email marketing, social media marketing, putting things on YouTube, growing my business, and oh, by the way, doing what my actual business is, which is educating people like you. In Constant Contact, you can manage your social media marketing right from within your Constant Contact account, and I'll show you how that works as well. Now, I do want to let you know that Constant Contact that I'm talking about here today has two primary plans. And just real briefly, I just want to be upfront with you all and let you know what those plans are. There was something that they call the core plan. When I was working for Constant Contact, this started at $19.99 a month. Now it actually starts at $9.99 a month. And then there's a plus plan that starts at $45 a month. Just wanted to let you know that Constant Contact does have those two plans, and everything that I'm going to be talking about here today, you can work within these plans. So I just kind of wanted to let you know about that. Now, for those of you that don't use Constant Contact, that you might use a different email marketing tool, fantastic, because the strategies that I'm talking about in today's presentation will absolutely work in most good, reputable email marketing tools. Now, the technology that I talk about might be a little bit different if you're using MailChimp or some other email marketing tool. If you're using a different tool, great. I'm just happy you're email marketing. Just absorb the strategy that I'm talking about today and figure out how to use that in whatever email marketing tool you have to offer. Having said that, I do want to launch a real quick poll. This is a live interactive webinar. So as much as possible, I do try to kind of modify what it is that I'm saying to meet the needs of the majority of the people that are listening to certainly the live webinar. So I am going to launch a poll here. Let me know how many of you actually do use Constant Contact. And this is a quick and easy poll. The answers are yes, you currently use Constant Contact. Yes, you use email marketing using a different email marketing tool, or you're not using anything for email marketing at all. And that simply will give me good information to kind of let me know how to gauge what I'm talking about. Now, I can see the progress. It looks like about 18% of you say you use Constant Contact. Great. A little bit more, well, right about the same. The numbers fluctuate as more and more people fill out the poll. Looks like about 19% say that you use email marketing, a different email marketing tool. Fantastic. I'm glad you're using something at least. And then, but then the majority of you, it looks like right now, a little over 60% say that you're not using any marketing tool at all whatsoever, which is probably why you're here. So everybody who's here, whether you currently use Constant Contact, whether you use a different email marketing tool, or you're not using any marketing tool for email, you're definitely going to get to know some great strategies to help you grow your business. All right, I'm going to close the poll, and that was super helpful. Thank you all for filling that information out for me. Oops, I got one slide ahead. There we go. All right, so the first thing that we're going to talk about is how can you grow your email list? For those of you that maybe are just getting started with your business, or if you have been in business for a long time, but you never really actively worked on collecting email addresses, this can sometimes feel like a big, source of uncertainty. So how can you actually start to collect email addresses? Now, what you can do is create something that are called landing pages. Little sidebar here. I do not recommend you buy email lists. If you buy an email list, you run the risk of violating federal anti-spam laws, and I would not want any of you to do that. Also, if you do buy an email list, even if people tell you, oh, this is opt-in, everyone's opted into my list, they have said, absolutely, you can share it with all your business partners. Just know, people tend to change their email address as frequently as once every 3 years. So if you buy an email list, there's a good likelihood that a lot of those email addresses aren't even going to be valid email addresses anymore. You're much better off collecting email addresses in places where you are approaching or interacting with your ideal future customer. One of the first ways that you can collect email addresses is on your website. Now, I just mentioned landing pages. In Constant Contact, as well as in some other email marketing tools, you can create something that is referred to as a landing page, which basically is a sign-up form. You can put that form on your website. That way, anytime anybody goes to your website, they will see, hey, type in your email address and you'll get some information. Now, in the landing page that you create, what I do recommend is think about, is there something of value you can offer to people in exchange for them giving you their email address? That something of value doesn't need to be a freebie that actually costs you anything. It could be valuable information. Let's say you are a swimming pool contractor. You could have perhaps a special report, 10 top tips of things you need to know if you are considering building a pool. Or maybe you can talk about insurance considerations for building a pool. Or you could talk about fun family activities to do outside in your backyard once you have a pool. So start thinking about what is valuable information you can share with people and put that information on the landing page. Let people know, I've got this great information I'm happy to share with you. What's your email address? And I will send this information to you right away. What I recommend you do not do is tell people that you want them to sign up for your email newsletter or you want them to sign up for your email mailing list. Folks, the last thing anybody wants to do is get another email. We get too many emails as it is. But what we do want to receive is valuable information that is going to help us succeed in life, whether it's our business life or our personal life or what have you. People want valuable information. If you have the type of business where you can offer people a coupon or a discount, that's fantastic. Let's say you are a retail store. It might be online or it might be a brick and mortar retail store. Like to get 10% off? Great. Let us know where you want us to send the coupon. And so that is another great way that you can encourage people to sign up for your email list when they land on your website. Now, we've just had a question here. How do I create a landing page? The landing page is something that you build typically within your email marketing tool itself. Within Constant Contact, there is a place right there where you can build the landing page. And it doesn't matter if you have the core program with Constant Contact or if you have the plus version of Constant Contact, you can absolutely build those landing pages. And then you can put it on your website. There's a variety of different ways you can do that depending on what type of website builder tool that you use. And the instructions for that are, there's some information within Constant Contact. Other times you might need to go to the help section of your website builder tool to learn how to put that landing page on your website itself. Now, there are a couple of different types of landing pages. There are what we call static landing pages, which is when somebody lands on your website, they see, there's the form, there you go. All right, let's just ask a question. Can we create a landing page inside the website itself? With some website development tools, you can create like a contact us form. The challenge that I have seen with building something within the website tool itself is, where do those emails go? You may get an email that lands in your inbox that says, hey, great news, Alex signed up for your email list, but then you need to know what are you going to do with that. That's why I definitely recommend you build the landing page in your email marketing tool. Again, whether it's Constant Contact or most of the good reputable email marketing tools will allow you to do that. That way, whenever anybody fills out that landing page form, they end up in your email marketing account, so it's easy for you to send them emails. So we just talked about having a static landing page on your website. And again, that's just a form that's there, usually kind of embedded with maybe your home page or maybe on your Contact Us page. But there is something I want you to consider, and just bear with me when I talk about this. There is something that's called a dynamic form. Having a dynamic sign-up form or a dynamic landing page on your website is incredibly powerful. So what is a dynamic form? What does that mean? Folks, it's the dreaded pop-up. Now, I know we all hate pop-ups. Pop-ups are annoying. They are annoying if they're used improperly. If you have a dynamic landing page on your website, meaning you have that pop-up form, click here to get information or click here to get a discount, that can increase the number of people that sign up for your email list by up to 150%. Those pop-up forms absolutely work. So that is also something that you can build within your Constant Contact account. You've got options there. Do you want it to be a pop-up that pops up the moment somebody lands on your website? Or do you want people to have maybe 5 or 10 seconds on your website before it pops up? Or do you want the pop-up to only pop up when somebody leaves your website? So you've got a lot of flexibility there. What I would encourage you to do, if this is something that you want to try one version of the pop-up, let it run for a couple of months, see what types of results you get, and then maybe change it. Maybe have it go to a different type of pop-up to see if you get different results in the future. So those are a couple of things about landing pages. Now, here's an example of a landing page that I use on occasion. And for me, because my expertise is helping small businesses grow, the landing page that I built offers people an opportunity to receive some free resources that can help their business. When people fill out the form, they immediately go into my Constant Contact account. Now, the reason why I showed you this is because I want to show you what you can see on the back end when it comes to the results of your landing pages. And here's simply a screenshot that I took of my Constant Contact account yesterday. You can see that since I built this landing page, almost 2,000 people have clicked on a link to get to the landing page. 1,100 of them filled out the form, meaning they volunteered to give me their email address. And I have a 45% conversion rate, which simply means 45% of the people that came across my landing page, they actually did fill it out. So what about those of you who maybe don't get a lot of traffic on your website right now? It may sound great to have this pop-up form on my website, but I don't have any visitors on my website to begin with, so that's not going to help me, Pamela. What do you do then? The next thing that you can start thinking about doing is within Constant Contact, you can actually share a landing page with your social media accounts. And so what that can do then is automatically create a social media post that can go out to your primary social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And what will happen then is you can automatically share that landing page, with the people that you're connected with on social media. Let them know, hey, I've got this great information for you. Click here to receive this information from me. So that is a nice way, if you don't have a whole lot of website visitors, to leverage the social media activity that you have to get the people who know you from social media to give you their email address so you can communicate with them via email. Now, the other thing that you can actually do with your landing page within Constant Contact is if you have the budget for it, you can actually create an advertisement on Facebook or on Instagram. Now, advertising, obviously, that is separate from what you would be paying Constant Contact. I'm not going to get into advertising here in today's presentation, other than there's just a couple of times I'm going to mention it, simply because how much does advertising cost? It depends on how much of a budget that you have. But if you really want to focus on dramatically increasing the number of people that sign up for your email list, and if you have the budget for it, you can absolutely do you can do advertising on social media with your landing page to encourage more people who don't know you yet to sign up for your email list. Now, what about you don't have a whole lot of people on your website? Maybe you don't have a big social media following. What do you do now? Constant Contact also gives you a link that you can use. And when people click on that link, then they go to your landing page. This is something I recommend all of you do, even if you're using a different email marketing tool, be sure that there is a way that you've got a link to your sign-up form. Put that link in your one-to-one email signature. You can put that link in other places as well. You can create a QR code with that link. You know, in a QR code, that's that little square that's got all the squiggly lines on it. Pre-COVID, QR codes were kind of going away. All of a sudden, COVID hit, and we're all about contactless everything. QR codes are back. People know how to use them. They love them, and they're here to stay. So how do you create a QR code? You can go online to Google and Google free QR code creator. There are dozens of tools out there that will allow you to create that free QR code. After you build your landing page in Constant Contact, what you do is simply copy that link, that landing page URL, paste it into a free QR code creator, and it will instantly create that little square for you. You can download it as a graphic file, either a PNG typically or a JPEG, and then you can take that QR code, put it on your print materials. You could have it on your business card. If you're doing a paper flyer, you can put it on your flyer. You can have it on a sign in your store. You can actually put it in other places where you might interact with people online. And so that is another great way that you can start finding people to encourage them to sign up for your email newsletter by having that landing page URL. But you do need to have that landing page. Then every time somebody clicks on that, they fill out that little form and they are automatically in your email marketing account, so you can send them emails on a future basis. So that's how you really can start collecting those email addresses. So, and I got a little bit ahead of myself. Where do you use the link for the landing page? Again, embedded in your one-to-one email signature. And then also be sure that you create a QR code for print use or for digital use. Now, once you've started collecting people's email addresses, how do you actually create emails that people are going to open right away? Now, folks, right away is key. As we all know with emails, if something is in your email inbox from, let's see, today's Tuesday when I'm doing this presentation, if something's in your email inbox from last Friday, you may never even pay attention to it. So you do want to encourage people to open your email right away. What some businesses do is they do what I'm going to call the sometimes monthly email. Not too long ago, I was talking to somebody about how he can grow his business. He actually on his website had a sign up form. He said, you know, click here to get a discount. I clicked there, put in my email address, never heard from the guy. I called him up and I said, hey, Dan, you know, I signed up for your email list. When are you going to email me anything? And he's like, oh, well, I just collect those email addresses. And then, you know, about once a month or so, then I send something out to everybody. Folks, when people first fill out that sign-up form, that's when they are hot. They are interested in you. So what you need to do is be sure that as soon as somebody fills out that landing page, they say, yes, I want this information. Here's my email address. You need to be sure that they immediately get that first email from you. There is something that we call a welcome email, and that's exactly what I just described. A welcome email is something that you would build within your email marketing tool and link it to your landing page. So the moment somebody fills out that landing page, they will automatically get that email from you. Now that welcome email would be pretty much whatever information you promised people when you encourage them to sign up for your email list. It could be your free resources. It could be a coupon or something along those lines. And so that's something that you do want to be sure that you have that set up. Now, welcome emails have a really high open rate. An open rate is simply the percentage of people that opened your email compared to the percentage of people, to the number of people you actually sent it to. It is virtually impossible that 100% of the people that you send an email to are actually going to open your email. But with a welcome email like this, it's incredibly high. 50% is a very high number of people that are going to open your email. Now, you may think, well, 50%, that's not very many. Folks, one thing I want to let you know is if you do social media posts, and hopefully you are, the likelihood of your social media post being offered to anybody who's following you is about 4%. And so having 50% of people open your email is a heck of a lot better than even having Facebook offer your social media post to only 4% of your reach. So that's why all of a sudden 50% sounds really good. What's great about this welcome email is somebody can sign up for your email list 2 o'clock Sunday morning when you're probably doing something other than sitting at your computer, maybe you're sleeping. That welcome email goes out to them right away. You do want to communicate with them by email before they actually forget about you. You also do want to be sure you've got some type of offer in that welcome email. And here's why. Welcome emails generate 320% more revenue than just your regular run-of-the-mill monthly webinar or monthly email. That's why welcome emails can really help you grow your business. But you just need to be strategic and be sure that you set up the infrastructure in the back end. Set it up once in your email marketing account, and it's all done. You don't need to worry about it again. So, why do people actually open your emails? This is something where I see a lot of people go off track. People will open emails based on two primary things. Now think of when you're looking at your inbox, whether it's on your computer or if it's on your phone. You've got dozens of emails, sometimes it feels like, that popped up in the last hour and a half since last time you checked it. What do you look at? The number one thing people look at when they're deciding if they want to open your email or not is the from name. Now, the from name is different from the from email address that it's being sent from. Now, depending on what type of business you have, the name that shows up in people's inbox could be your personal name. When I send emails out, I typically send them out from Pamela Starr, because so many people on my email list are people who have attended my presentations. Hopefully, when they see my name, they'll say, oh, I remember her. So they'll open my emails. If you have other businesses where you personally are not your own brand, maybe you have a Shopify store and you're sending people emails, then you want the from name to be the name of your business. So just kind of think for a moment about, how do people recognize you? Do they recognize you as a person with your name, or do they recognize your business name? In your email marketing tool, you should be able to say for any email that you send out, what do you want that from name to be? There may be some situations where you might want it to be from somebody totally different. Several years ago, this was way before I started speaking for Google, when I was still speaking for Constant Contact, I did a presentation and there was a woman in there that actually worked at a zoo. And so she decided to start testing having the email come from one of their well-known animals. I don't remember if it was like an elephant or a bear or something like that, but that animal was kind of like the symbol of the zoo. She told me that once they started sending out emails from, we'll say it was Gary the gorilla, all of a sudden their open rate skyrocketed. So the from name is something you definitely want to pay attention to. The next thing that you want to pay attention to is, what is the subject line of your email? This is incredibly important. You need that subject line to be something that is going to pique people's curiosity and make them want to open your email now, not later. So let's first of all talk about really bad subject lines. Those would be something like March newsletter, April newsletter, monthly newsletter, news from your business name. Folks, please don't take this personally, but nobody cares about news from your business. Who do they care about? They care about themselves. And so start thinking about, what are subject lines that can really make people want to open your emails? 3 ways to, top 10 things you need to know, 3 dangers to avoid. This is something that has gotten to be really common right now in online marketing, in social media posts, on YouTube. If you're not sure what you should be doing, look at all those resources. This is sometimes referred to as clickbait, meaning you've got this really dramatic sounding headline. Oh my gosh, I need to click on it to read the article. Folks, it works. That's why people do it. Now, you don't want to be sleazy with it, but if there's something like 3 dangers every pool owner should know, that would be a great subject line if you are a swimming pool contractor. And those dangers could be something like, be sure that you have a fence around your yard so that way you can get a discount on your homeowner's insurance or something along those lines. So start thinking about what is some type of subject line that's really going to grab people's attention because they're scrolling through their inbox and they're going to open the emails now that pique their curiosity. So from name, subject line, those are the 2 things that are going to get people to open your email. Now, over the course of time, you do need to be sure that you're giving people good quality information so that way they continue to open your emails in the future. Now we're going to talk about creating emails that can actually help you sell your stuff. Now, as we talked about before, sell is not a bad word, people. You need to have some type of a sales mindset in order for your business to thrive. Something that's important to understand with emails is one of the most important things you can do is personalize your emails. 52% of consumers are likely to switch brands if the company that is emailing them isn't personalizing those communications. So what do we mean about personalize your communications? That would be, Dear Pamela, blah, 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 or Dear Joe, or Dear Alex. Even having something as simple as their name in it can really help people feel more engaged with your business. Think about people need to feel that you are communicating directly with that one person, not to just a general random group of people. When I send out my emails, perhaps I'm promoting an event that I'm doing, I may send out the email to thousands of people. I get all these responses. Thank you so much, Pamela, for the lovely email. I'm so sorry I won't be able to make it, which is super nice that they let me know that because they feel like it is a highly personalized touch. Also, personalized emails deliver 6 times higher transaction rates. So if you want to grow your business, absolutely be sure that your emails are personalized. So here's an example. Now, just so you know, my camera is here. I've got a bigger version of my slides over here that I can actually read. So when you see me turn my head, that's what I'm doing. I'm not ignoring you. So, hi, first name. I imagine when you started company name, you hoped you could generate a comfortable income for yourself. Now, there's a lot of competition in states. Are you still meeting your income plans? If not, we're here to help. So, what does that mean? This is something that is commonly referred to as a mail merge. When you have people fill out your landing page, you have the option of what fields do you want them to include. I always recommend when you build your landing page, at a minimum, collect first name. That way, when you're creating your email, you can embed the code for first name into your email. That way, if you're sending an email out to 100 people and you have their email addresses and their first names, each email is going to be different. Hi, Alex. Hi, Joe. Hi, Dexter. Hi, what have you. Hi, Juan. Every email will be different and it will be personalized for the person that you're sending your email out to. Now, in that landing page that we talked about, there are other fields that you also can ask for. You can ask for things like what's their company name. You can ask for what's their zip code, what's their state. You can actually create what we call custom codes. So you can say, I don't want to ask people that normal, regular information. Maybe you're a dog trainer and you want to ask, what is the name of your dog? Then you can send it an email. Hi, Susan. I know that you wanted to get information about how you can teach Fluffy to be better behaved. Here's 5 tricks. So having that type of information when somebody receives an email from you, that is incredibly powerful. So again, how do you set that up? That is all still something that you would set up within your Constant Contact account. All right, Diane asked a question here. Is it still good to personalize if many of my customers may go by Mrs. Johnson instead of Trudy? Absolutely, Diane. That is incredibly important. And if somebody is a little bit more formal and they like to be addressed that way as Mrs. Johnson, um, all that you need to do is be sure that in your custom field that you're creating within your constant contact account, think about how do you want to ask them, how do they want to be addressed? And maybe you just put something on there like, how do you prefer to be addressed? So then they can type in Mrs. Johnson. The next person could type in and say, no, just call me Bob. And so that is what you would do. You can create a custom field, put that custom field on your landing page. That way people can let you know how they prefer to be addressed. Now, let's talk a little bit about some examples of types of emails that you can send. Now, in the sake of time, I did not create sample emails for people that are in retail businesses or people that are in business consumer businesses, simply because if you're selling a product like my blue ballpoint pen, it's easy to kind of think about, well, what can I say in an email? Where people sometimes get a little bit stuck on the different types of emails that they can create on an ongoing basis tend to be people that are in the B2B, the business to business arena. So here's some examples here. You can send out an email that gives people a reason why they should use your services. For my example here, French Consulting, they do marketing. It's a fictional company, but we're just using them. 3 reasons to redesign your website now. So for those of you that are perhaps an accountant, 3 reasons to reevaluate your tax structure now. For those of you who perhaps are in, this could be used for people in their personal life as well. Let's say you're a chiropractor, 3 reasons why you should have your back checked now. That's a great subject line and it's great content people are going to enjoy reading. Here's another email here. Talks about what's unique about your particular business. We've got 15 years of experience, and this is why we are perfect for you. Again, a chiropractor could talk about, this is the approach I take. This is why I'm perfect for you. So that's a great thing that you can send out to people in an email. Another great example is invoking the fear of missing out. And that could be, this example I have, get the website you've always wanted. You can also let people know quantities are limited. Deadline expires on Friday. Give people that little bit of that time urgency, and they're going to be a lot more likely to take action with you. Now, on all of these emails I'm showing, there's a big black box that says, schedule my consultation. Folks, that's what we call a call to action. Every email that you send out should have a clear call to action. It's kind of a funny sales and marketing thing. If you tell people what to do, they are a heck of a lot more likely to actually do it. Now, it's kind of like dogs and children. If you tell them what to do, they're more likely than if you just hope that they're going to clean their room or something along those lines. So you do want to have that clear call to action. Now, for those of you that are watching today's presentation, if you currently sell products on Shopify, Etsy, or eBay, if you have a Constant Contact Plus account, you can actually automatically sync the products you have on one of those stores with your Constant Contact emails. So if you're doing something like that, you can let people know, hey, quantities are limited on this particular pen, and it can sync all together. You don't have to retype all the information to describe the pen. So I just kind of wanted to mention that because I know that in all of my presentations, I always get questions from people that have eBay stores or Etsy stores or who have built an online store on Shopify. Those do sync with Constant Contact's Plus account. Here's a couple of things for everybody if you're using email marketing. Now, this is kind of funny because what I'm going to talk about here are best practices for email marketing campaigns using an official email marketing tool like Constant Contact, MailChimp, or what have you. But these are actually good best practices for even if you're just sending random one-to-one emails to people. Keep this in mind. You want your emails to be short. Aim for less than 250 words. Assume that the person you're sending that email to is reading your email on their itty-bitty smartphone when they are standing in line at the grocery store. Folks, we tend not to read emails the first time we look at it, we tend to scan them. So you want it to be short. If your email is just a big wall of words, people are going to glaze over. Aim for short and sweet. You do need to have that call to action towards the top of your email. We call that above the scroll line. For those of you that remember newspaper days, we used to talk about having the most important information on the newspaper above the fold, which is, obviously when the newspaper folds in half, that's where they would have their big headline. You want your call to action to be at the top of the email, because what people don't seem to like to do is take their phone and scroll down to the bottom of it. Put that front and center. Also, I talked about how people don't really like to read walls of words. They skim. So try and see if you can create your email with a bullet list rather than paragraphs, simply because that's easier for people to read. You do want to be sure that your branding of all of your emails is consistent. Now, here's something where I'm going to advise you to not do that you can do in Constant Contact. Constant Contact, like most good reputable email marketing tools, has got hundreds of email templates. Here's your Cinco de Mayo email. Here's your Valentine's Day email. Here's your party theme email. They're great. They look great. They're professionally designed. They're fun. They're fantastic. What you do want to do is be sure that you're really careful about that. When you send an email to the people on your email list, they have trusted your brand. So you do want to be sure that the branding on your emails is consistent. You don't want every email to look different. You want the branding to reflect your website, to reflect any print marketing materials that you might have. For those of you, and I know there's not a ton of you on this webinar yet, or not a ton of you on the webinar, if you already use a Constant Contact account, if you would like me to get a custom email template created for you, I can do that. Just send me an email after today's webinar and let me know that you'd like that. There's a couple of steps that we need to go through to make that happen, but I can get you a free branded email template. So that way it matches your website and that type of thing. If after today you decide to purchase a Constant Contact account from me, I can get that for you as well. For those of you that are using other email marketing tools, just check with them and see if there's a resource that they have where you can get a custom branded email template through their resource. That way, regardless of what tool you're using, your emails reflect your brand, which is hugely important. Now, the last thing that I'm going to talk about here today is how you can save time by sharing the email that you just created with your social media platforms. When you send out an email through Constant Contact, after the email is actually sent, then you'll have some more options. You can do something that's called social share. You can link your primary Constant Contact, your primary social media accounts to your Constant Contact account, and that would be Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Once you link those accounts to your email marketing account, after you send out an email, then you can go back into your Constant Contact account and click on the social share button and automatically share your email with the people that you're connected with on social media. Now, when I talk about that, sometimes people will say, well, I don't want to give people the same information over and over again. Folks, you don't need to worry about that. You can have one group of people that have connected with you on social media, another group of people have connected with you on email. Hopefully there's a lot of interaction there, but you created a beautiful email, send it out to the people on your list, absolutely automatically share that with your social media profiles as well, because you want to be sure you are reusing the content. It can take forever and truly drain your energy to sit here and think, I need to write an email, I need to write social media posts, I need them all to be different. You can absolutely reuse and repurpose the information that you have. Your email typically will be longer. Your social media posts can be shorter, but you can automatically share your email directly with your social media accounts. You also can, again, create a Facebook lead ad or advertise on Google, actually, from within your Constant Contact account. The advertising, that is something that is in the Plus account. You do have to pay for the advertising. You would pay Facebook or Google. But the ability to link it and manage it all within Constant Contact, that is in the Plus account, not the Core account. For everybody that uses Constant Contact, you can also create individual social media posts from within the back end of your social media account. That simply saves you time. That way, there's really only one platform you need to focus on. You don't need to bounce back and forth between Facebook, between Twitter, LinkedIn, and think, how am I even going to manage all of these tools? It's always a good idea to have one tool that can manage all of that for you. And again, I'm not going to take a deep dive into that, but it is something you can do within your Constant Contact account as well. I'm going to pause here for just a second because I see that there's a couple of other questions people have asked. Okay, a couple of people have asked me about the recording. Everybody, you'll get, if you, well, obviously you registered for today's presentation, otherwise you wouldn't be here live on Tuesday, March 7th. You will all get an email from me that has a link to the recording of this. I'm going to put it on YouTube. I'll send you that link. People have said, well, how can you reply back? How can you email me to let me know that you want that custom template? When you get that email from me, just reply back to that and let me know. Let's see. Looks like Bella says, how can I find out what prompted them to visit my website and prompted them to sign up for my newsletter? What you absolutely can do is in the data I showed you for the landing pages. If you really want to get specific, and Bella, it sounds like maybe you do, you can actually create multiple landing pages. You can have one landing page that you only use on Facebook. You can use a different, basically identical landing page that you only use on your website. That's how you can start to figure out where did people come from. That's a little bit more of an advanced marketing strategy. So I'm thrilled that you asked that question because that tells me that your mind is in the right place. All right, Patricia says, what about TikTok? I love TikTok. I get kind of, well, I think anybody that ever looks at TikTok, you know, you can get kind of like sucked into that TikTok hole. As of yet, Constant Contact doesn't do posts on TikTok because Constant Contact doesn't do a whole lot with video. So just kind of want to let you know about that. Will says, can you add all the emails you currently have without your customers signing up to a landing page? Well, that is an excellent question. There is a federal anti-spam law that has some actually pretty broad requirements. The way that Constant Contact kind of approaches that is there are things called implied permission to send people marketing messages and explicit permission to send them email marketing messages. Implied permission means they're your customer. They have an ongoing business relationship with you. And but by the fact that they do have an ongoing business relationship with you, they are implying that they are okay receiving email communication with you. Explicit would be if somebody like lands on your landing page. So, Will, if you do have a list of people that have implied that they do want to receive email marketing messages from you, you can absolutely have that in a spreadsheet, upload that all in one shot to your Constant Contact account. What you are going to run into some problems with is if you have a spreadsheet with 10,000 email addresses that you kind of gathered over the last decade and you try to upload that, that one will probably need to be flagged for review. But if you've got a couple hundred, 1,000 email addresses of your existing customers, you can absolutely upload that to Constant Contact just all in one batch in a spreadsheet. All right, I see there's a couple more questions here. I am going to continue on with my presentation because I'm keeping my eye on the clock. I'm almost finished, and I will get to the remaining questions in just a couple of minutes. So let's kind of recap about this. The first thing you need to do is start figuring out where are all the different places where you can start collecting email addresses. Anywhere where you can potentially connect with people, have, excuse me, have a landing page or have that URL that I mentioned before. Hang on, just bear with me for just a second. I've got a frog in my throat. All right, I'm back. I turned off my camera and my microphone just because I really didn't think you wanted to hear me coughing and having a big gulp of water. All right, so you do need to be sure that you build a way for people to give you their email address. After that, you really need to take a good look at the emails that you're sending out. I have the word here, optimize your emails to get more opens and to sell your products and services. What does that mean? Simply means use those strategies that we talked about today. Be sure the from name is appropriate. It's a name your audience will recognize. Have a good subject line. Be sure that your call to action is at the top of your email. Don't bury it down after 8 paragraphs of content that nobody's actually going to read. And then if you really do want to save time having an all-encompassing marketing strategy for your business, that's then where you can get on board with sharing your emails on your social media platforms. Now, just so you know, a couple of things to keep in mind here. The recording of today's webinar is going to be shared on YouTube. You'll get an email from me by the end of tomorrow, hopefully a little bit faster than that. And I also do want to let you know, as soon as you leave today's webinar, assuming you're watching it live, I've got a 4-question survey. I would love it if you would fill out. One of my goals for 2023 is to start offering more people like you different types of content. And so I kind of want to find out what type of content would you be interested in, because I've got a couple of ideas for you. So just want to give you that heads up before we wind up. If you're ready to get started with Constant Contact or with whatever email marketing tool you are using, the only thing you need to do is just get started. If you are curious about Constant Contact, again, there is a core account that starts at $9.99 a month. And there is the Plus account that starts at $45 a month. The Plus account is the one that's got more social media options, although there are absolutely some basic ones in the core account. I'm not going to read all of these to you. The one thing that I love the best about Constant Contact is if you have one of these accounts, you get free, unlimited telephone or chat support, whichever you prefer. Folks, I've been using Constant Contact since 2008. I worked for them in 2010 through 2017. I'm constantly chatting Constant Contact just because not quite sure how to do something. They'll fix it behind the scenes for you. You don't need to worry about that. Also, because of my relationship with Constant Contact, they do allow me to give you a discount. I have a discount of up to 30, you can save 30% off the first 3 months of Constant Contact if you are interested in that. And there is one of our QR codes that we talked about. I'm actually putting a link to that in the chat also. I need somebody who's watching today's webinar live to keep me honest. Let me know if the QR code works or let me know if that link works. I did a very similar presentation last year, and for whatever reason, it did not work. And so that was an epic failure on my part. Just want to be sure that I didn't repeat that failure here today. All right, while that's up there, while people are testing that out, I'll go through a couple of other questions here. All right, Renee asked a question. I have a list of emails from an organization list I belong to. Would it be considered a spam violation if I sent emails to colleagues? It wouldn't be practical to contact 100 people. It wouldn't be practical to contact hundreds of people to sign up on my website. Renee, that's kind of on the edge. I recommend you check with that organization that you've got their list and see if they have a policy about members sending marketing messages to other members. One thing that you can do in a situation like that is perhaps upload them to your account, send them one email. And that one email simply says, hey, I am communicating with people about whatever your topic is. If you would like to continue receiving information from me, take no action. If you no longer want to receive any communication from me, click the unsubscribe link that's at the bottom of this email. Constant Contact, like all good reputable email marketing tools, do have an unsubscribe link at the bottom of the email. As soon as somebody clicks the unsubscribe link, they will be immediately blocked from your accounts, so you will never accidentally send them another email unless they choose to resubscribe for your emails. That gets into Britt. Britt says, does Constant Contact make it easy to unsubscribe? Absolutely. That unsubscribe link is on the bottom of every emails. Patricia says, what if you collected business cards while networking? What I would recommend, Patricia, is when somebody hands you their card, simply say something like, periodically I send out an email about X, Y, and Z. Would you like to get that information? Chances are, if they trusted you and they gave you their business card, they'll say yes. turn it over, put a little checkbox on it, and you should be good to go with that. Let's see. Okay, next question here. Can you add emails from a bunch of company websites and load them into Constant Contact for email marketing? I'm not sure what you mean by emails from a bunch of company websites. If you're referring to you have multiple companies and multiple company websites, let's say you've got website one, company one and website one, company two and website two, you absolutely can upload them to different lists in your Constant Contact account. So that's an option there for you. All right, a bunch of people have said that the QR code and the link works. Thank you very much. Donata says, does the discount expire? It does, and Constant Contact won't tell me when. So if that's something you're interested in, you probably want to get jumped on that. Jody says, are there time commitments with Constant Contact, such as 3 months, 6 months, year, or other? No, Jody, you can actually pay on a month-to-month basis if you want to. Or if you want to sign up for 6 months or a year, you get a deeper discount. But Jody, you absolutely can sign up once. You can sign up and only pay once, sorry, talking too fast. You can absolutely sign up, pay on a month-to-month basis. So if you don't want a bigger bill on your credit card right now, you can absolutely do that on a month-to-month basis. You can always unsubscribe. You can close your account anytime you want to as well. Constant Contact doesn't make it hard for you to do that if it's no longer working for you. All right, I think, Gaddy, you've got a couple more questions here. Could I gather emails from potential companies I want to do business with and load them into a mail merge or an email blast? Gaddy, the official Constant Contact answer is no, because those people have not given you permission to send them, for you to send them email marketing messages. Having said that, if you're talking 10 or 20, sure, give it a try. If you're talking thousands and you've got some type of tool that like scrapes websites for email addresses, absolutely don't do that, because then you're going to end up with a problem, because you're definitely going to be spamming people if you do that. All right, so hopefully that answers most of those questions. I want to kind of pause here for a second. All right, Jody says most people just use search on Google and some businesses are not on social media or the website. Should we put the landing URL somewhere on the Google business profile? So Jody, you're speaking my language, because I also spend a lot of time talking about the Google business profile. Jody, what you can do is you can put a link to that in a post on your business profile. So I think that's a fantastic idea, Jody. That way, when people discover your business profile, they'll see your post. You've got great information. How can I get that? Click on the link in your post and away you go. So I think that's a great strategy, Jody. So good for you for asking that question. Sheila says, how many emails can I send for $45 a month? Sheila, it varies. If you're using the core account, and that's the one that's got more automated features in it, it's also the one that you can use to sync your products from Shopify, Etsy, or eBay. For $45 a month, that is if you have up to 500 email addresses. And then as your email list grows bigger, then the prices will change. I don't know what they are off the top of my head, what the price breaks are, but if you click on the link that I put in the chat, you can navigate to get the price breaks there for you, Sheila. All right, I think that answers all of the questions. I apologize, I am 4 minutes over time. I appreciate the fact that you were willing to invest the extra 4 minutes with me. I wish you all the best with everything that it is that you're trying to do with your business. Constant Contact is a great way to grow your business. Big thanks to the organizations that offered today's training to you. I do a lot of presentations about a variety of topics with all of them. Be on the lookout for communication from those SCORE chapters, as well as the BBB Foundation in Arkansas for the next presentations that I have to share with you. Until I see you next time online, or hopefully at some point in person, I wish you all the best of luck with everything that you're trying to do with your business. Take care, everybody.